Today I'm going to make a realistic caddis pattern in a mop fly style. The materials I'll be using is this hairline brown dubbing and from the bug shop, the ultra chenille. You can buy this in all kinds of colors, but this particular pattern I'm tying in this green. So I'm starting with a Tiemco 105 egg hook. Use some black thread, but you can also use brown. So put it on there. You can use a bead or no bead. I prefer a little bit of bead, so I put a small bead on just to improve the weight a little. So you don't need to wind back very far, just kind of, get a couple of millimeters worth in there. So then what we're going to do is we're going to tie this in. I know a lot of people like to pull the fluff off and tie down just the two threads. However, for this pattern, I kind of like the extra bulk. So I'm just going to tie down the whole thing. So you just grab that right behind the bead. And again, you don't need a very large section of it tied down, just a little bit. Make sure everything's sitting just the way you like it. All right, and then park towards the back end. So now I'm going to create the shape. This is the mop fly part of it, except it's customized. So I'm going to maybe get this far back right there. And now I'm going to use a lighter to melt the tip and shape it a little. I do a little bit on both sides. So you get kind of a little tail or butt end or however you want to look at it. Then the next thing I need is some of this brown dubbing. You don't need very much. Twist it on. Give it a little bit of a spin so it wraps underneath the threads a little bit. Come up behind the head. Tie that off. And then you need to pick this out a little bit because you want it to kind of look like the legs on a nymph, on a larval stage for a caddis. They're kind of got a few little legs. I always have the feeling that fish like things that are buggy looking. You know, we as fly tiers sometimes like things to look very neat and orderly, but that doesn't mean that's what the fish like. I think they like buggy. So get it good and buggy. Push these back a little bit. Now we're going to add some of the color. If you look at some images of a real caddisfly larva, they're not bright green. They do have some green, but they're not bright green. So I'm going to use a brown permanent marker to try and just add some little, somewhat of stripes maybe. I don't know if that's the right word for it. Some banding. Like that. Make sure it looks good on both sides. Let me get a little bit down here. Okay, see, so that side looks like that. This side looks like this. There we go. And then just add a little bit of super glue. Got some super glue on my bodkin and just slide it down in there and hold it a second. So the glue is like solder. It's drawn toward the fiber as like solder is drawn toward heat. The glue is drawn, super glue is drawn toward the fiber. So you just hold the bodkin there and it sucks in. So that's basically it. This is a steelhead catcher. I've caught a lot of steelhead on this pattern in the last couple years. So it's sort of like a mop fly, but it's a caddis version. And you can also tie it in a lot of different patterns. So I'll show you this one. Here's another one that's very productive for me. It looks like a wax worm. That one's caught a lot of fish. You can also tie ones like this in the black if you just need a little more color. This is one I like for steelhead also. This one, I use some micro palmered chenille and put it on there with the blue. I think blue is a really good steelhead color. You can also use a longer artificial palmer chenille and make it kind of leggy, kind of give it a Disney princess sort of a look. Here's one with some banding on it, kind of gives it a cat in a hat appeal, like that. Like this is the the salmon roe pattern, and I used some UV dub on there in the white. Gives it kind of a veil sort of a look, like an egg and veil. Anyways, this pattern has caught me an awful lot of steelhead, so I'm really happy to share it with you. Thanks for watching.